Celeb Secrets is hanging out with Whitney Woerz today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Let's go right into your musical journey, how you started and how you led into Nashville now.
Yeah. So actually I'll give a little bit of a more backstory.
Yeah.
I started writing music when I was 13, 12. And before that I did musical theater. So like my entire life kind of just, been into music. And then I went to LaGuardia and really started writing songs and like traveling back and forth from New York to Nashville to work with this producer. Actually at that producer's studio right now recording something. Glenn Rosenstein, great guy. And yeah, I kind of just like fell in love with Nashville throughout high school. And then I moved here I'm taking like a few classes at Belmont.
How is that, balancing, some online classes and your music? How is that for you?
It's actually been pretty easy. I'm really only taking 2 classes, taking philosophy of the mind, which is pretty sick, and a songwriting course. So it's like very manageable and like I actually like to learn about these things in particular. So it's been like fine. And I'm like at the studio now, so I've been definitely working around it.
I know you released a new single though during this whole pandemic called Retrograde. So
yes.
Let's maybe jump into that, what the song's about, creative process and things like that.
Yeah, so obviously hence the title, you can tell it's about a retrograde. And so like I wrote this back in February during our first Mercury retrograde of the year. And it was like right before Corona. Like it was right as everybody was like, what do we do about this? Like what's going on? And that was a weird time, if you can remember. Hence obviously because the retrograde and obviously because of everything that was going on. And like my life kind of just like went like down. And I was kind of sad. And I was just like, I don't really like how I'm feeling right now. Like it's the retrograde, I guess. And I was just like, I have to write what I'm feeling and what I'm feeling through this retrograde into a song. So I kind of just, the lyrics are literally just what my interpretation of a retrograde feels like. And people have related and been like, saying that that's how they feel as well during not even just a retrograde, but a bad time in general. I wanted just people to relate to, everybody feels down. So I just kind of described what it feels like to go through a negative sort of spot in your life.
Of course. And I want to talk about the video a little bit because the video I feel like perfectly describes it. And I also got like old school Lord vibes from you.
Thank you. That's a good compliment.
Yeah. So what was that like, filming the video, and how did you guys go in that direction with how you wanted to, put it out?
Yeah, so for the video, I literally just wanted it to also symbolize what a retrograde feels like. So to describe the video, it's like I am in this just a black room because I wanted it to just be like pure blackness because that's what it feels like when you're kind of like in a bad place. But consistently through the video, there's this light. And I try to get to it throughout, kind of like how I'm trying to do in the song, like trying to get to the light, I know there's another side, but I just like can't get to it right now. And then through the video, like it shows me trying to get to it, but being like pushed back. And then finally I touch the light for the first time and like, kind of like, an awakening type thing. And yeah, and that the near, like all the way at the end, there's a burst of light, which just symbolizes that like I made it out, and like you always make it out of what you're going through.
Yeah. Now, did you guys film it during the pandemic? And if so, how did you go about doing that?
We filmed it in Brooklyn, and it was we had a very small crew. It was just me, makeup artist, my manager, and then 2 video guys, and everybody wore masks except for me. And it was also like really hot in the studio, so like everyone was like, the masks. But yeah, it was like really fun and just like very casual too. And we got a great video.
Yeah, I was gonna say super good. I loved it. Now, is this a taste of what's to come for new music from you?
That is a strong yes. If you look up my old catalog of music, it's mainly pop, pure pop. And I've kind of known I was going in this sort of like almost want to say like jazz alternative pop style for a long time, and I've been wanting to do it for so long, and this I can strongly say is the first song that really truly fits my genre that I'm going for and just me in general. So after this, yes, be on the lookout for many things like this, and kind of just in that like jazz alternative pop style. So this is the first step of basically my new me.
So now, are you going to be releasing any more singles before the year ends, or an EP? I know you said you're in the studio right now, so maybe can you tell us a little bit about what's to come?
I don't know really if I'm going to do an EP right at the start of the year, but definitely expect an EP in the beginning towards of 2021. So we're preparing for that, like narrowing down songs and stuff.
I want to talk about your previous music. I know you said it's a little more pop, but something that I found really interesting was with Ghost Story, how, you know, it really impacted one of your friends and overall saved her life. So can you maybe talk to us about, you know, all of that and how important it is for you that your music is impacting people? Because it probably isn't just your friend, it's probably everyone that listens to it, you know?
Oh, yeah. So Ghost Story, I wrote that when I was 13, and I think it was like the second song I ever wrote, ever. And yeah, I wasn't really like into writing at 13, like heavily. But my friend, who I actually only knew from social media, reached out, and she said that she was going to kill herself. Yeah. And like, I didn't even know what that meant at the time. And so like, I didn't hear from her for a bit, and I was nervous. So all I could do was just write. So I sat down and I just like wrote in my notebook, kind of like a conversation between me and her, like what I want her to say and what she wants, what I would say. And then I recorded it, a little really rough, like just, you know, video on my iPhone, and sent it to her. I wasn't even expecting a response, honestly. And she said that it saved her life and it inspired her to get therapy and to actually like get help and not end it. So that was the best day of my life, honestly. Like that was the most significant. And we're actually like, we're literally in a conversation right now. Like me and her like still talk to this day.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And like we always just update each other on like what's going on and stuff. But yeah, that really just kickstarted my music career. And I did a music video for that, that like incorporated different kids' stories. And so when that released, everybody just said that a lot of the comments were like, this saved my life too. And it just really helped people. And then that led me into joining forces with this organization called Bring Change to Mind, which is it's run by Glenn Close, and basically just helps end the stigma around mental illness. Because like I didn't know that those organizations existed, and I was like, I need to start one. Like if nothing exists with this, then I'm starting it. But then I was like, oh wait, there's definitely some organizations already here. So I'm still working with Bring Change to Mind, and yeah. Writing about mental illness and talking about mental illness is a huge part of my music, and I just want people to know that they're not alone. Literally, that's it. And to be happy, like when listening to my music, that's my main goal, honestly.
And since we are Celeb Secrets, I ask people about like their secrets. So do you maybe have any secrets, fun facts, hidden talents, anything about you that people wouldn't know?
Ooh, yeah, actually. Okay. How I write. A lot when I write by myself, I actually write the entire thing in my head before I put it to music, and I record it a cappella, and the verse, and like I'll do it like without any instruments, and I'll just do it like it's always just in my head, and it'll pop up like when I'm just in my kitchen. Like I write like around, I don't sit down and write, and a lot of it is just a cappella in my head, and then so that's that.
Oh, wow. Awesome.